All right, so welcome back to Of Mice and Men. We are talking about part one. Let's look at some key points that you can pay attention to if you are reading this for class. We have a couple of big themes in this book, and they both show up right here in the first chapter. We're told at the very beginning of the chapter that this campsite where George and Lenny are staying for the night is right outside of Soledad, California. This is a real city, but Soledad is Spanish for solitary or alone. So that is our very first theme of the book, is loneliness. So the chapter begins by introducing loneliness, and it ends with our second big theme, and that is dreams. So the chapter kind of winds up with George telling Lenny this story about the farm that they're going to buy, where they are going to be able to stay put and have a place of their own. That is their dream. That is their hope for the future. So loneliness and dreams, those are our two main themes of this book, and they're going to show up in big and small ways in every section of this book. Now, the campsite kind of embodies both of those themes. As we said, it's outside Soledad, meaning alone. However, the campsite is also meant to symbolize a place of refuge. George tells Lenny at the very end of the chapter, if there's ever trouble, you come back here. That kind of reflects how George and Lenny's dreams, their vision of this farm that they're going to buy where they'll be able to stay, that's a safe place for them. That is a refuge for them. Also, there is a huge red flag bit of foreshadowing in this section. At the very end of this chapter, George tells Lenny, hey, remember this campsite? If there's ever trouble, you come back here. This tells us a couple of things. First of all, there is going to be trouble. And second of all, we will see this campsite again. It's going to be important. So another thing that you are going to see throughout this book is escalating violence, and it begins right in section 1. We see in this section that Lenny has accidentally killed a mouse that he had in his pocket, and there is also a reference to the incident in Weed. It's elaborated on in a later chapter, but we know that Lenny touched a young woman's clothes and it frightened her. So we have some unintentional harm that occurs in this chapter. Even though it may seem minor now, it's kind of the first domino falling, and this is going to get bigger. It's going to increase as the book goes on.